Allahu Akbar. Hayya ala salah. Allahu Akbar.
Arise, giving all praises to Allah, the Father of the universe, cherisher and sustainer of all the boundless universes. I extend highest of honors to his holy divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder, the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam.
Islam.
Extend high honors to his forerunner, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, the founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, who did indeed warn and stir up the nations, Islam.
Islam.
Extend high honors to the Moorish flag, the red flag, the five-pointed green star in the center. These 5 points represent love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. These are 5 highest principles known to man. Islam?
Islam.
Giving honors to the American flag, also known as the Stars and Stripes. This flag exists as a constant reminder that the European nations owe you the Moors with compound interests. Islam?
Islam.
This is also the flag of our birth. Islam?
Islam.
Extending honors to Noble Sheik staff, Noble Vanguard staff, who keep the peace, giving honors to you, to the hills and bays, for without you, there is no Moorish movement. Islam?
Islam.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah for the opportunity for us to fast the month of Ramadan. Islam, Moors?
Islam.
To demonstrate, discipline over our lower nature. Islam?
Islam.
Not just from food, but from carnal thoughts and ideals. Islam, Moors?
Islam.
These are the things that keep us bound to the energy that is known as Negro, Black, and Colored, and Ethiopian. Islam, Moors?
Islam.
So praise Allah for, a divine system, an ancient and divine creed that puts in place a month for us to disconnect and ascend to our Father God Allah. Islam?
Islam.
In the spirit of our Moorish ancient fathers. Right? So this is not an Arab tradition. Islam Moors? This is something that was being done, that was already being practiced, that the Prophet Muhammad would put on the Arabs. Islam Moors, but the custom is ancient. Fasting indeed is ancient.
Islam.
Islam Moors?
Islam.
Right? Everyone please turn to chapter 25. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Islam?
Islam.
And as in the spirit of our Moorish forefathers, we always demonstrate this together. Islam, Moors?
Islam.
Right? Chapter 25, a holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Islam, Moors?
Islam.
Instruction 1. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother hath given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when we separate into the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam or?
Islam. Islam.
Praise Allah for that.
Islam.
If the Prophet didn't reveal nothing else to the Asiatics in North America, he brought you a code. Islam?
Islam.
When you're dealing with the people that didn't have a code, when you're dealing with people that their word was not their Bible. Islam, or?
Islam.
Their word was not a surety that the things shall most certainly be performed. Right? So one of the first things you got to instill is a covenant. And in the first instruction, the word one is mentioned twice. Islam, or?
Islam.
Because again, you have to pay attention when a prophet of Allah mentions something more than once. Right? Like I make the point, several times. What's the only thing that the prophet mentioned twice in the divine constitution and bylaws?
What was that question again?
What was the only thing that the prophet Noble Drew Ali mentioned twice in the divine constitution and bylaws?
Love, truth, peace, and justice.
Attend your meetings promptly.
Sure he did.
Right? Because why attend your meetings promptly? Right? What's different about the Asiatics of America as opposed to the other free nationals on the planet? Right? Like when you see like the Chinese throughout your communities or on television or whatever, one thing that you don't see the Chinese doing when they vibing with each other is going over thousands of years of Chinese history. They're not doing that. Right? They talk about business opportunities, schools, taking care of their earthly salvation. Islam? Because their free national standards and principles are in place. Islam?
Islam.
Same thing with the Indians, the ones we call Hindus, so on and so forth, by their divine creed. You don't see them breaking down what Krishna did and 2,000 years ago, and I don't believe in your school of thought, because they're not doing that, at least openly. Islam?
Islam.
They demonstrate earthly salvation, and that's already in place. Islam?
Islam.
Well, why did the Prophet Noble Drew Ali put on us to attend your meetings promptly? Right? Because something happened to us. Islam?
Islam.
I was driving in the camel the other day, me and the Moabites. If you see me and I'm not going to Moabites, something wrong with either one of the others. You always see us together. We rolled together, and we were at a red light. There was a commercial that came on, and on the commercial, I really wasn't paying attention, but then the European said something about invisible wounds, and that struck a chord in my spirit. Invisible wounds. Like our people, we have scars on our soul. Islam was? Unlike many of our forefathers who have physical scars, right? Whip marks, missing limbs, so on and so forth. My mother, the womb I came through, my mother, who's 76 years old, very good health. I talked to her today, praise Allah. Her hands for a woman are very rough. She was almost had like mechanic hands like a man. There's something I always knew growing up, but never really asked her. So one day, what? Back to your hands. Why your hands? She said, baby, when I was in North Carolina, she's from country girl, North Carolina. So I was in North Carolina picking cotton. I said, whoa, what? Like I knew she picked tobacco. That's the staple of North Carolina. But cotton, right? So, in my frame of reference, when I heard about, when I think about picking cotton, I think, at least 100 years ago. For me, that's one generation ago. My mother picked cotton, right? And as a result, it's funny, when I talked to my mother, she told me that the texture of cotton is like the texture of your hair, right? And when you pick it, it has thorns on it, make your hands bleed. So you're getting pain from picking the cotton, but the cotton feels like something that's on you. So it's generating a self-hatred as you're doing it. Islam? Invisible wounds. Islam? All right? So what I'm saying is that the Prophet tells you to attend your meetings properly because you're not yourself.
Yeah.
Islam wars?
Islam.
Even when we proclaim our nationality, Islam wars, we still suffer from flare-ups of Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopian.
Right.
Islam.
Right? It's easy to be Moorish American Muslim when everything's going right. Right? But as soon as something goes off script, right? Instead of going to our instructions, we go to our default. Which, unfortunately, if you haven't shattered that, is your Negro, black, and colored mechanism. Right? So if something goes wrong, you go to hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, everything that harms. Instead of just going to something holy and divine. Which, by the way, is easier. That is actually the easier path, but we don't choose the easier path. We choose that which is convenient. Right?
Islam.
And we more talk about debasing ourselves. We debase ourselves just to gratify our lower selves. Islam wars?
Islam.
But our holy covenant, which by the way, if you look at how the Prophet, again, being masterful in how he worded things, he said it is a holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. Right? What does that mean in English? What does that infer? A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. What understanding does that give us?
I mean, it's not there for others.
All right? Give me another covenant that he told you about.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long in the airplane, which the Lord like Allah has given thee.
Islam, right? Is that a new, or was that part of the old time religion?
It's part of the old time.
It's ancient. Islam, I don't care where you go on the earth, you're talking about a civilized culture, they demonstrate that. Islam? But the Prophet later in the record, he talks about, he gives us a demonstration about, cursing your mother and father, or cursing the birth of your son, or cursing the birth, you know what I'm saying? He said, one that does it, does he not call himself a monster? Islam wars?
Islam.
I want to draw from a prophet, because our prophet was indeed a prophet. Islam wars?
Islam.
In an article entitled, So This Is Chicago, I'm going to need your input on this one. And this is Moorish Guide newspaper, October 26, 1928. Islam?
Islam.
So this is Chicago. All nations of the earth are now being forced to contribute their share in this American life. Some of the nations here are put at a disadvantage, supposedly, because they happen to have a hue of every other nation of the globe. They have been victims of a peculiar psychology designed to hold them in mental slavery. So long as men permit other nations to furnish them with their food for thought, just so long as they do not allow their heads to supplant their advisors. What will happen among the Asiatics of the world will first happen in the United States of America.
Okay.
And the first cosmopolitan city of this nation will be in Chicago.
Okay.
This is Chicago, the only city of the land that has all the features of this American life engaged in by our people. Aldermen seated in the council of the city, men high in official affairs of the city generally. There's but one Chicago. Islam or?
Islam.
The prophet is giving us a prophecy that's saying that whatever is going to happen to us here in this country, it's going to first happen in Chicago. What's happening in Chicago? We happen to have a native Chicagoan present. You got a demonstration on that for us, Mo?
Give you a demonstration, more Islam.
Islam? Islam?
We rise, giving praise to Father God Allah, giving honors to Noble Drew Ali, giving honors to Marcus Garvey, and we giving honors to the Sheiks and the Sheikesses here at Temple 19. Just real quick, Mo, we from Chicago, and right now in Chicago, there's a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of hatred. We're killing each other. We're killing each other because we don't love each other. And the prophet said we need to learn to love instead of hate. And we need that direction. We need that correction. We need that protection. It's stimulated from conditioning. Drugs, alcohol, as you mentioned, kids without fathers, mothers being, just bad mothers. A lot of this comes from slave mentality. A lot of this comes from ignorance. A lot of this comes from not knowing who we are. I was just thinking about it today, how if America asked us or told us that we had to leave this country, where would we go? Nowhere to go. We can't go to Black Land.
That's right. No, right.
It's unhonorable for us to be in the situation that we're in today, being who we are, when we know who we are. It's degrading, it's frustrating, it's harmful, very hurtful, and yet we live in it. And the only way we're going to get out of it is through more science to pull up.
That's not.
Prophet Noble Drew Ali. There will be some that may debate me on this, but I'm not up for debate.
That's not.
I'm already, what they say in the church, I'm sold out.
That's not.
I'm sold out. That I know that
That's not.
that the prophet has come to redeem us, to offer us up salvation, a way of life, a new hope, a new generation, a new divine constitution, bylaw, creed. Everything that we need, everything is right here in this flag. When we look at this flag, that says it all. It gives us the, like you were talking about, that warning when you think about Noble Drew Ali, how your body just rises up off the ground. You get into another plane of thought. That infinite thought, that infinite wisdom, that divine, that teaches, that gives everyone a chance, an opportunity to be better men, be better women, be better children, be citizens. This is what we're teaching our people, to be better than what they taught us to be. That's the key. We got to get out of that reconstruction period. That part. I don't want to be too long-winded, Mo, but we you know what I mean. We want to get out of that reconstruction period. That hypnotism. That told us that we were Negro, Black, and colored. When I found out about that, that was the best thing that ever happened to me, Mo.
Praise Allah.
Best thing that ever happened to me. When I knew that I didn't have to be that person anymore. Whew, saved my life. Man, my steps got a whole lot You know, no
Yes, sir.
harm.
Clearly cut.
You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Let's say it, Mother. Clearly cut and Mother. Truly, that the prophet is, as you said, the prophet. And he has given us, you know, everything that we need to save ourselves. And with that, I digress. As I pardon myself, I digress. Islam.
Gratitude.
Yes, sir.
Gratitude for the blessing.
Yeah.
You know, and as the more is demonstrating, you know, it's some heinous things right now going on in the city of Chicago.
Yes.
You know, but you know, all is not lost. I don't want y'all to think that.
That's right.
You know, because you know we have tribal wars amongst ourselves, that all is lost. Because remember, a prophet still came and he did what he was supposed to do, right? And there are ones that will give their life to make sure that that continues. Islam? As long as that is in place, there's a chance for our people to course correct. Islam? Now, if you were to compare, there was a period of time in China, I know I referenced them earlier, where anybody ever heard of the Golden Triangle?
Yes.
Okay, what did the Golden Triangle do? You remember?
Let's see. That I understand, the Golden Triangle either dealt with trade routes.
Of what specifically? Remember?
I apologize.
It was a trade route indeed, but dealing with opium, right? That the British had put on China, right, to control it, right? So China found themselves in a position where, you know, a lot of their people, you know, doped out, warring amongst each other, killing, thieving, all this type of stuff, right? So, you know, up came one named Mao Zedong, right? Now, Mao Zedong, you know, little tidbit of history a lot of us don't know. We referenced it before. But Mao Zedong, at one point, he came to America, studied in America. And he used to attend meetings of a man that we honor, named Marcus Mosiah Garvey, in New York. He used to attend, you know, UNIA meetings. So he took some of what Marcus Garvey taught and went back to China and organized his people. Islam was?
Islam.
So they demonstrated something called the Great Leap Forward. You know, research that when you check. And in the Great Leap Forward, what they did was, it was a, how can I say, like a Renaissance period, right? Where what they did was they demonstrated fundamentalism, right? They demonstrated extreme orthodoxy, right? To get rid of anything that had European influence out of the country, right? So at that point, they were burning books, they were burning records. It's a movie. I'll probably reference it on Facebook later this evening because it's you know, mine shut time right now. But you know, they were going through, you know, like any, you know, and they was locking up anybody that was demonstrating anything European, right? And they found themselves in a position, war with each other, you know, to get back to the original Chinese ideal, right? So much so to the point where if you want to, you know, research a lot of Chinese, you know, historical Chinese artifacts, stuff like that, a lot of that stuff has been moved out and moved to Taiwan. Because China was, during that Reformation period, in order for a lot of stuff not to get destroyed, they just got it out of the country, right? To Taiwan. But why am I telling you all this? I'm saying all this to say that this period of time, this period of turmoil that we're finding ourselves going through, and what the prophet is telling us what Chicago represents, and not only the fact that, you know, he referenced Chicago, but the fact that he called Chicago Al-Moor's Mecca, right? And what does Mecca represent, you know, to the Muslims? The center, right? It's the direction, right? It's the direction where you seek Allah. Islam was, right? But we have to do what we have to do because, again, you know, there's a place and then there's the people, right? There's a holy city and then there's a holy people. Islam was? Islam. The city is only as holy as the people. Islam was? Islam. We've built many holy cities. Don't let nobody fool you to make you think that Mecca in the east or Jerusalem or whatever, those are the only holy places that we established. Wherever we were holy at, we gathered, that was the holy place. Islam was? Islam. That's why the Prophet Muhammad, you know, during the time when he, you know, was told, when he was given the edict by Allah to change the direction of prayer. Remember, the Muslims first faced Jerusalem. First, people forget that in history. You know, the Muslims don't like Israel. Muslims, they don't like about, you know, they faced Israel, they faced Jerusalem first, right? And then as a result, Allah said change what they call the Qibla, which is the direction of prayer, to Mecca. Islam was, all right? But through custom, we still face east, right? By custom, Islam. But you know, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali gave us our own vibration on the divine, the ancient and divine creed, right? Because part of the waking up process of the Asiatics in America is that you could not give them remedies sent to other people that way, right? However, there is a universal truth, which I'll get to later. Islam was?
Islam.
Next, I'm going to go to Moorish literature in the article entitled, What is Islam? Right? Prophet Noble Dryly Revisit says, Islam is a very simple faith. It requires man to recognize his duties towards God Allah, his creator, and his fellow creatures. It teaches the supreme duty of living at peace with one's surroundings. It is preeminently the religion of peace. The very name Islam means peace. So where do we get this means submit from? Prophet said it means peace. Now it means submit. Now it means submit. That submit comes into another ideal. There was a false prophet, a pale Arab named Musaylama, M-U-S-A-L. I got you. M-U-S-A-Y, excuse me. M-U-S-A-Y-L-I-M-A-T. Musaylama. He was in the same time as the Prophet Muhammad and claimed prophethood. And he was in a place called Yemen. And it was a period of time when, through wars, the Muslims actually took out Musaylama. It took his form. But his followers, became Muslim and crept their ideal in amongst the Muslims. So Musaylama's name, the word spelled in Arabic, there's something called a shadda, which looks like a little W with a line over the top. It goes over the L. That word Musaylama is actually pronounced Musaylama. And that heavy enunciation on the L or the lam makes it mean in Arabic to submit, right? So that ideal comes from a whole other prophet. Islam, kind of similar to when Cain named his children the same as Seth's children. So you have a Methuselah and a Methusael. And as you trace them after a while, you don't know which one's which. So you don't know throughout later in the text, you don't know if you're talking about Cain's children or Seth's line. Islam.
Well, we just have a question for you.
Praise Allah.
And we were doing some research and reading some things, and came across in the Fatiha about Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim.
Rahman Rahim.
Being a meaning of a.
I already know where you're going, especially
meaning of a womb.
Islam.
So we just wanted to hear a demonstration.
Islam.
Because that seems relevant to what you're saying now.
See, it's several things. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get back to your point.
Okay.
It's several things that the Arabs did in changing around the text to get us away from our original ways, right? The word Rahman and Rahim both share the same root, Rahim, which means womb.
That's right.
Right? That's a female ideal, right? But they had to get that out because they know we had honor for the woman in our, right? But they wanted to demonstrate subjugation of the woman. That wasn't our way, right? So the Moorish ancient fathers and the Arabs often went to war over ideals, right? So when we felt that they was going to trying to encroach on, what we had been doing for thousands of years that demonstrated harmony in our civilization, we went to war with them, or vice versa. When we was trying to, raise them up from their barbaric condition, a lot of times they reverted back to a lot of the barbarity and the hypocrisy that the Quran 997 talks about. The Arabs being the biggest hypocrites and the most fitted to be ignorant of what Allah brought. That's what Prophet Muhammad said about the people he was sent to. Right? So, but another thing about that Rahman is that, Musaylama's chief deity was named Rahman. Right? So a lot of times, again, and they're all speaking the same language. Right? They all spoke Arabic. Right? So, the word Rahman in the language ultimately means merciful because the womb, right? The woman has to be merciful and yielding to allow the child to come forth. You see what I'm saying? So as a result of that, the ideal takes place in the shape around the word Rahman. But as Prophet Muhammad put it in the Quran, it became Al-Rahman. Basically like the most merciful. You know what I mean? Which the Arab took and changed it from Al-Rahman, which you look at its Alif Latin, it's the whole Arabic thing, but it's A-L basically. Rahman. They changed that to A-R Rahman, which R is Ur, which means fire. It's another thing because they're migrants from India and they were fire worshippers. It's a whole thing. Again, why a prophet had to come and teach Islam to us in a particular way. Because jumping in the Quran of Mecca and you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna be lost. And the Arabs laugh at us when we don't know, when we dealing with the Quran of Mecca and we don't know what we're dealing with. They laugh. They tell you you're not really a real Muslim. You're a convert. You're a convert to your own ancient way. Islam? So when the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, what he gave you in that, this Holy Quran, the more science stuff of America, what he gives you there is to put you on equal footing with the nations of the earth. So now, once you swallow this, you can talk to anybody as equals. You don't have to be belittled by no Arab. All you got to do is study them instructions in English. Because the mentality that he gives you in the instructions in English is equivalent to any other, Arabic speaker, Hebrew speaker. You get the same lessons. Islam, because an angel of Allah or a prophet can do that, right? They can teach you in your native tongue universal wisdom. Islam. But as you so eloquently said, I digress. Right? It says the goal of a man's life, according to Islam, is peace with everything. Peace with Allah and peace with man. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, tells us that the final abode of peace is the house of peace, where no vain word or sinful discourse will be heard. For those taking notes, write down Dar, D-A-R, L-A-L, Islam. Dar al-Islam. Dar al-Islam means the abode of peace. So for those that think the Prophet didn't have that understanding, he had that too. But he knew you didn't speak Arabic, so we put it in English. Right? The holy, so again, you got that one? Dar al-Islam. D-A-R, A-L, and then Islam. The Holy Divine Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, says that a follower of Islam, in the true sense of the word, is one whose hands, tongue, and thoughts do not hurt others. Notice he ain't mentioned nothing there about ritual. A true follower of Islam is one whose hands, tongue, and thoughts don't hurt others. Islam, Morris?
Islam.
Object of man's life, according to Islam, is its complete unfolding. Islam teaches us that man is born with unlimited capacities for progress. To your demonstration, it's not dealing with finite. Islam, Morris? Unlimited capacities. Islam does not support the idea that man was born in sin. It teaches that everyone has within him the seed of perfect development, and it rests solely with himself to make or mar his fortune. So we don't blame nobody.
Exactly.
We don't do that. All the European, the idol god called the white man, which we don't demonstrate, right?
Right.
But any of that has to do with you being in the condition that you're in. You're in the condition that you're in because you want to be there, right? Because you find comfort in being demonstrating procrastination. Putting off for tomorrow what you could do for the day. The cardinal doctrine of Islam is the unity of the Father, Allah. We believe in one God, Allah, who is all God, all mercy, all power. He is perfect and holy, all wisdom, all knowledge, and all truth. These are some of his great attributes, so as far as we can understand. A lot of times Moors gloss over that, but what he's putting you on to us. Anybody ever read the Kabbalion? You know the Kabbalion? So one of the main themes for the concept of deity in there is what they refer to as the all. Right? Prophet gives you that in your Quran. The all, yes sir. The all of love. That's in your Quran. You see what I'm saying? But or all. When them gives you Allah is all. Allah is all, right? So the prophets give you a demonstration that Allah is a part of creation. Right? See how easy that sounds in here? In the Arab world, that's a big, you get killed for that. In certain places, saying that Allah is a part of it. They believe that Allah is separate from creation. Islam was?
Islam.
But see, to tell our forefathers that, you're not going to tell me Allah is not within me. Right? You can look at some of the things our forefathers have done, and clearly Allah was with them.
Islam.
There's a lot more things that people still don't know how it was done. Right? But again, Allah is all. Right? It says he is free from defects, holy and transcendent. He is personal to us insofar as we see his attributes working for us and in us. But he is nevertheless impersonal because he is infinite and perfect and holy. We do not believe that death, decay, or sleep overtake him. Let me stop there. For those who are taking notes, write down Quran of Mecca, Surah 2, 255. That's known as Ayat al-Kursi, K-U-R-S-I. Kursi means throne. And in there, that's when it talks about sleep nor slumber overtakes Allah. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali's quoting the Quran of Mecca. Islam Moors? But then you'll have Moors to tell you that the Prophet didn't demonstrate the Quran of Mecca. But here it is, right here. Right? It says that neither do we believe that he is a helplessly inactive and inert force. Nothing happens without his knowledge and will. He neither begets nor is begotten, because these are traits of a frail and weak humanity. This unity of Allah is the first and foremost pillar of Islam, and every other belief hangs upon it. Okay, but careful words or careful wording. Scientists, right?
Yeah.
What is belief?
male thinks perhaps might be the truth.
What you think might perhaps be true, right? But the unity of Allah is the first and foremost pillar. So the unity of Allah is everything. Everything else after that is belief. So all that, the salats per day and all that's belief, right? And I believe perhaps that, fasting 30 days is going to make me disciplined.
Indeed.
Islam law? So there's nothing wrong with that because belief is first. Don't attack people for their beliefs.
Islam.
The Prophet called it a sad weakness in us. That when we attack our fellow men for their religious beliefs. Islam laws? And in my meditations, I'm up in the wee hours of the morning when it's real quiet. And that's when my best thoughts come. Like 1 and like 3 or 4 in the morning. It's also when the pineal gland secretes melanin, right? But one of the things that came to me, because I often ask Allah, as a grand sheikh, like, what do you want my ministry to be? What do you want me to demonstrate? Like, what do you want me to stand for? What is my position? And one of the things that came to me clear, like in that small still, and the thought was just as clear as I'm talking to you now, and it's that you have to stand for the promotion of love and religious tolerance. And it came to me just as clear as that. And it sounds simple, it sounds like something that's huge, right? Because Moorish American Muslims right now are in a position where we're not as unified as we need to be because of religious controversy. The Prophet gave us a demonstration on religious controversy, right? He details it because he knew it was a problem, just not now, but in ancient times, right? We warred over ideals. But the Prophet gives you the key to the man's ideal is his God. Islam's God today is not his God tomorrow. His man unfold, so do his God, right? So because your and my ideal don't line up, that's today, right? If we keep unfolding, right, we may line up, Allah willing, right? But our ideals are also connected to our beliefs, right? So we should never allow our ideals or our beliefs to stop us from standing with each other and getting work done. Islam was?
Islam.
The Prophet demonstrates, the concept of brotherhood in the Holy Quran of Mecca, right? I'd like somebody to pull out one of them supercomputers y'all call phones and iPhones and stuff. Pull out Google, pull out Sheik Google. We're going to demonstrate Sheik Google tonight. Type in the word fraternalism. Fraternalism. It's like fraternal and ISM at the end, right? I want to make a statement. The Moorish Science Temple of America was birthed during the era of fraternalism. What does the word fraternalism mean, anyone?
Brotherhood.
Speak up, Mo.
Brotherhood.
Okay. Anybody have a definition? So we can flesh it out a little bit. Fraternalism, Brother Khalid?
I got like 2 of them.
Yeah, give me what you got.
All right. First one is an adjective of or befitting a brother or brotherly. The second one, of or being a society of men associated in brotherly union as for mutual aid or benefit.
Islam. Brother Jabari hit a serious key up here when he was demonstrating about his experience in the Mormon church. And when he talked about them being broken down into wards, correct? Okay? And those wards being separate jurisdictions, correct? Okay? On the back of your our authority, the back of your question there, the back, it says, it uses the terms wardens, vestrymen, or whatever names they may adopt. But further up here, it says, at a meeting of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Noble Drew Ali, Ranesi-El, Small Bay, Lovett Bay, and Foreman Bay, says the Moorish Science Temple of America derived its power and authority from the great Quran. Let me go up high, I'm sorry. Pardon about it. It says, I, Noble Drew Ali, do solemnly swear that at the meeting of the Moorish Science Temple of America, held in Chicago in the county of Cook, in the state of Illinois on the 20th of July, AD 1928, for that purpose, the following persons were. Now it says, this is the actual filing right here. It's on the back. It says elected, because this is a template. It says elected. Prophet, scratch that out. It's a line drawn through that. And they typed in appointed. Because we appoint, we don't elect, because it's a divine organization. Islam? It says for that purpose, the following persons were appointed sheiks, right? Because in this template, you could have used wardens, vestrymen, bishops, fathers, whatever, archbishops, so on and so forth, right? Wardens, or in the Catholic Church, right, are over certain wards, right? It's a title over that particular jurisdiction. Because ultimately, a lot of that church structure comes, it all goes back to the Catholic Church. That's, the Pope is their father. That's their dad. Islam. But it goes on, it says, more signs of America derive its power and authority from the great Quran of Muhammad to propagate the faith and extend the learning and the truth of the great prophet of Ali in America, to anoint, appoint, and consecrate missionaries of the prophet, and to establish the faith of Muhammad in America. Islam wars? That's the work that we're called to do. Islam wars? Inside of the Quran of Muhammad, right? It gives us all through here. It demonstrates, brother, concepts of universal brotherhood, right? And Surah 3:103, right? It says, "And hold fast all together by the rope which Allah stretches out for you, and be not divided amongst yourselves. And remember with gratitude Allah's favor on you, for you were enemies, and He joined your hearts in love, so that by His grace ye became brethren. And ye were on the brink of the pit of fire, and He saved you from it. Thus doth Allah make His signs clear to you, that ye may be guided." Islam? Prophet Noble Drew Ali was demonstrating Prophet Muhammad, because remember, it's only one spirit, they just keep taking different forms. He demonstrated Prophet Muhammad when he gives us the degree of universal brotherhood back. He's demonstrating this degree right here, right? In the Arabic, it says, وَأَتَصِمُوا الْحَبُّ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. That Hablullah is literally like a lifeline that you will throw out to someone that's in distress because they're about to die. Islam? So what the prophets throw out to us, this line that they're throwing out to us, right, is something that's going to save our lives, right? They only come because we're divided. That's the only reason they come. And when they come, they give us set instructions, right, to save us from that, from that division, and to join our hearts, one another. The nearest place to meet Allah is in the heart. Islam wars? What's the number one thing that us as brothers are dying from? Asiatic men. Heart attacks. Or what they call it, the silent killer. Islam wars? Because we store stuff. We store stress. We store hatred. We store discontent. We store, I'm not what I'm supposed to be in life. I'm supposed to have more. I want more for my family. I want a bigger car for my wife. A better house for them. We store that. Our babies deserve it. You store that. And you keep storing and storing and storing, and you attacking, you become the thief that's in Allah's temple. But you gotta, like Jesus did, run in and turn them tables over and chase the thieves out of the temple. Islam wars? Moving forward, it says, "Let there arise out of you a band of people, inviting to all that is good, enjoining what is right, and forbidding what is wrong. These are the ones that attain felicity." Prophet Obrali talked about that eternal felicity in the mansions of Allah. It's the same message. Islam wars? "Be not like those who are divided amongst themselves and fall into disputations after receiving clear signs. For them is a dreadful chastisement." That's for the Moors. You received a prophet. What you arguing about? What you fighting for? So it's our need to want to be right all the time, right? How about, the prophet tells us, Prophet Muhammad and Prophet Noble Drew Ali, in all the world there's only two things. What are they?
Truth and falsehood.
So clearly truth stands out clear from error, doesn't it? All you got to do is wait the person out once. Somebody you don't agree with on an ideal, just wait it out. Time will reveal. It always does. But it's not worth burning up your brotherhood. It's not worth burning up your sister. It's not worth it. Right? Just wait. Still soldier. Still attend your meetings. Still stand shoulder to shoulder. That's why I give honors to the formation of Islamic Salat. When they get together and they stand in military rank. Shoulders, because it reminds you that you have to be there for your brothers and sisters. Islam wars? And demonstrate that front line degree. Islam wars? All right? It says, and I'll yield there. Verses 103 to 105 on that demonstration. Islam wars? Next. I'm not going to keep you long. I have 5 more minutes, boys. All is well, y'all all right?
All is well.
Prophet Noble Drew Ali gives us an understanding of the word friend. Right? And, to a Moorish American Muslim, in the understanding of the Prophet, the divine instructions, that's not something you throw around lightly. When you proclaim your nationality on your card, when the secretary writes your card out, your card says, brother so-and-so, sister so-and-so. As the prophet put the custom down, we don't call each other, we're not on first name basis in the more science of America. That's not Yosef, that's brother Yosef. Islam?
Islam.
Because that symbolic right reminds me that he's my brother.
Islam.
That's sister type. Islam, well, that's my sister.
Islam.
As well as my wife. Islam? I want her treated just like I would want one of my sisters treated. I'm going to treat her just the same, on that level. Islam was?
Islam.
Right? So a lot of the things the prophet gave us was symbolic right to remind us. Because again, he knew something happened to us, invisible wounds. Islam? So, you know, we had the European, and in psychology, made us think we were separate and distinct from one another. Because when they put their God on us, we forgot that Allah was all. That everything was all.
Right.
And if everything is all, we can't be separate from one another. That's an illusion. When people come to me talking about how divided the Moors are, I said, that's falsehood. The Moors are unified. You just have to be able to see it. Islam?
Islam.
And if you doubt that, just run them all through the questionnaire. Islam more major, more. Allah more. Islam more. Who's no withdrawal more? He's Allah's prophet. More, we ain't divided. And the ones that can't give that back, it's only because they haven't been taught. You know, like I say all the time, I meet Moorish American Muslims, parts of it. I meet Moorish Americans who have never heard the Prophet Noble Drali's name. Ones that call themselves Moorish Americans. Now, how have they been instructed? That's the first name you're going to hear dealing with this, right? How many people seen a video online when the guy got stopped by the police and he draped the flag out the car? Y'all seen that?
Yes, sir.
Right? So one of my customers came in and I wrote a book on the Moorish flag called "A Flag Above Any Other." So the customer was sitting in the chair, and I turned around, he saw the book over there. He's like, "That's that flag that was on that video." I said, "Yeah, but let's have a conversation." That's not how we demonstrate that flag. You know what I'm saying? I had a young brother in the chair today, the young brother I told you about. He said, you a Moor, aren't you? I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Okay, what's up with the American flag? Why you not flying the African flag?" I said, "This is the African flag. It's Northwest Africa." He said, "For real?" I said, "Yes, sir." And matter of fact, first of all, there's no such thing as an African flag.
Right.
Let's touch on that. Since we're going into raising it up, there's no United African flag. There's no flag for the continent of Africa, right? However, in the nation of Morocco, because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America, this is the flag. Islam was?
Islam.
All right? And it's just that the plain truth was unadorned, as plain as it is, that's our flag. Islam was. But the point is that if we don't teach the people the prophet, right? If we don't become the prophet's lessons, right? The people will take on the cultural trappings of a Moorish American, but not be Moors where it counts the most. Islam? Anybody could buy a fez and put it on. It's ill-advised. I don't think you should do that. I saw a video of a young brother the other day. He went Facebook Live outside of a police station, walking in circles, talking about how free he was, talking about how wrong they were, so on and so forth. Whatever. May Allah guide our brother, and bless his heart. But I can tell he has not been taught. Islam was?
Islam.
So that's the importance of these institutions, this Moorish Science Temple of America. It's very important because where will the people go to be taught the prophet's lessons? Right? The nations of the earth will not recognize this movement without our prophet as being the head. Now he knew he wasn't always going to be in the form, so why would he say that?
Right.
Because as long as we're allowed to keep these lessons alive, the prophet is alive. Islam?
Islam.
He is our founding father. Because where were you at when he found you? What state were you in when he found you? So yes, that is your founding father. And yes, he did adopt you. And yes, he did make you family to each other. That's why we call each other brother and sister. Islam was? And that's why we call Allah our father of the universe. Because Prophet Noble Drali is one of his angels. We say he is Allah's prophet. That's possessive. He belongs to Allah. So what he's telling you is coming from Allah for your own good. Islam was? All right? And make no mistake about it, you are Muslims. Get around it. You can't be Moorish American without being Muslim. That's a big argument right now. Because when you understand what Muslim is, right? Of course you'd have to be a Muslim to be Moorish American. Right? You can't just take the national side of the movement. The movement is conjunctive, divine and national. You can't break it apart. Islam was?
Islam.
But anyway, he demonstrated friend, right? And in chapter 41, verse 12, just about 3 verses. Chapter 41, verse 12, it says, "Whoso hath been an enemy cannot be a friend, for man mendeth not his faults. Now let's square that enemy. We think that because your brother or sister is saying does something to you to hurt your feelings, and that's your enemy. Right? I disagree. Right? I think that a lot of times our customs don't line up. And as a result of our customs not lining up, we fall out and we disagree. But should I hate you because we disagree? Or like Dr. King said, can we disagree without being disagreeable? Islam Moors?
Islam.
How many family members we got that we disagree with, but no matter what, they're family?
That's right.
You need a blood transfusion, they can still stick their arm out and give you life.
Islam.
That's right.
Right? Despite the disagreement. All right? That's that demonstration. Go to chapter 30, instruction 2. Right? It is thy duty, this is the social duties. It is thy duty, therefore, to be a friend to mankind, as it is thy interest that man should be friendly to thee. Islam Moors?
Islam.
Go to chapter 15, it's the last one. Chapter 15, instruction 16. For 40 days did Jesus wrestle with his carnal self. His higher self prevailed. He then was hungry, but his friends found him, and they ministered unto him. Islam Moors?
Islam.
And again, take note that it didn't say disciples, it said friends. Right? Friend is a specific order, if I can say that. Remember, we were birthed during the era of fraternalism. Fraternities use certain language. And it's a universal language. Islam Moors?
Islam.
Right? So you should be able to sit and have a civilized conversation with somebody from the Oddfellows and not be set tripping because they're from the Oddfellows or from the Prince Hall. Islam? That's another thing that I would like Moors, at least it's under the sound of my voice, to stop doing is banging on Freemasons. Because you're angry at something you don't know nothing about. Because if you knew what that was, you'd realize you have assistance there. Islam Moors? The Honorable Messiah Garvey understood that. That's how he grew so fast. Again, if we knew what we was dealing with. Islam? But there's a universal language, again, for the promotion of love and religious tolerance. Islam? Let me end on this right here. Go to the Prophet Noble Ali, his historic message to America. I'm going to read. I'm going to read 2 sections, right? It says, it is a sad weakness in us, after all, to oppose our fellow men for their religious beliefs. And if there are angels who record the sorrows of men, as well as their sins, they certainly know how many and deep are the useless sorrows that spring forth from such opposition. Possibly love and time will counsel our ancient hatreds in this regard and prove that in mankind, tolerance is better than unwarranted opposition.
Yeah.
Islam? And that's that sad weakness, right? Remember I was saying, when the Prophet of Allah mentions something twice or more than once, pay attention, right? Read this. Our men and women, I might as well take from the top. In connection with our religious aims and beliefs, we must promote economic security. The preaching of economic security among us is by no means as widespread and intensive as the circumstances demand. No other one thing is more needed among us at this time than greater economic power, better positions for our men and women, more business employment for our boys and girls, and bigger incomes will follow our economic security. We shall be secure in nothing until we have economic power. A beggar people cannot develop the highest in them, nor can they attain to the genuine enjoyment of the spiritualities of life. I think that's powerful right there. The fact he says, a beggar people cannot develop the highest in them. So we want to develop the highest in our people, but we can't do that as beggars. Islam? Our men, women, and children should be taught to believe in the capacity of our group to succeed in business, in spite of the trials and failures of some of them. Trials and failures in business are by no means confined to any particular group of people. Some business ventures of all people fail. We have many men and women among our people who are qualified both by training and experience, who are shining lights in the business world of all the people. Here we go. It is a sad weakness in us as a people that we have withheld the very encouragement, support, and patronage that would have made some of our worthy business ventures a grand success, and worst of all, have joined in the condemnations of them when they failed. Except in cases of actual dishonesty, discourtesy, and lack of service and actual unreliability, our business enterprises in every field of endeavor should have the fullest of confidence, cooperation, and patronage whenever and wherever they can be given.
That's strong.
That's noble duality.
That's strong, bro.
But see, he's addressing that sad weakness, and on top, he mentions it twice, and gives you a whole chapter called weakness. Islam, Moors?
Islam.
All right? So, again, Moors, you know, I just wanted to leave you with the thought.
Where you reading that from, bro?
Well, that was from Moorish literature.
Yes, sir. Watch this. Yes, sir.
Moorish leaders' historic message to America.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, I think this is powerful too, because the prophet, Moorish leaders' historical message to America, that was written before message to the black man. Honest to, you know what I'm saying? Honest to that, right? But at the same time, you know, we can see what ones were inspired from.
Right.
A lot of people drew off the prophet, why it's important for us to keep his legacy alive. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the world will have you, you know, think that this man didn't exist. But all the people whose lives he changed are living testimonies of the fact of what he brought, and who he was, and who he came from, and who sent him. Islam was?
Islam.
All right? Right? Before I lower the meeting with the divine warning, I want to say just a couple things I want to hit. June 8th, there was a unity, the annual Unity Day. It's being held at Muhammad's Mosque 15B. We're asking all friends and members and sympathizers, whatever, More Science Temple of America, Temple number 19, to be phased up and to be present, representing Noble Drew Ali and the More Science Temple of America at the Unity demonstration. So the Nation of Islam be present, the Wahabians, the RBG groups, a couple other groups that I can. We'll put the flyer on the temple's page. You know, but you know, we definitely want to show that support, and you know, it'd be good if Moors from different temples could show that solidarity, right? There's one thing, you know, that I want to address, and it's that sad weakness, and that's after all. The tickets are $25 a piece, and if you pay at the door, it's like 35, right? Sad weakness, and that's after all. The sad weakness comes in whereby ones will sit and say, and I heard this last year, and troubled my spirit. Well, if we go over there and we pay that amount for tickets, they're gonna make all of that off of us. Moors, James Brown made a song years ago. He said, I paid the cost to be the boss, right? There's another phrase that says, it takes money to make money, right? We have to be able to invest in each other, and that's between groups. That's where our economic power is. See what I'm saying? And we can't be afraid to see someone else or another one of our kindred succeed. It's a holy covenant of the Asiatic nations.
That's right.
So we're calling for all the success of all of our people, not just Moorish Americans. And if you think the prophet wasn't on that, study the Moorish Guide newspaper in 28 and find out that he had, you know, Asiatics that had advertisements in there for their hair salons, for their churches, and you know, Christians that wrote articles for the Moorish Guide and all of that in a Moorish American newspaper, because the prophet was demonstrating love and religious tolerance. Islam was? So I don't want to hear that this year. Islam was?
Islam.
You know, I want the Moors to, you know, to put their, you know, their big boy pants on, the man pants on. Islam? I want us to take our place in the affairs of men, Moors, and stand anytime in the city of Atlanta somebody's demonstrating unity, we need to be there.
Islam.
The only reason prior to this year that we haven't, because we had some internal, we had to get our own house in order, right? But this is the third annual Unity Festival, whatever, Unity Day, and we're always there, so wouldn't be right if we weren't there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we will be there because, again, you know, in all of our humility that we seek to be, there's certain things that we can't be humble with, right? Because remember that part of your post on earth is that you are the Lord of the plane of the manifest.
Right.
So we have to learn how to will things into existence. We have to learn how to be strong, Moors. Islam? You know, speak with clear, clearness and power, right? And take the position of clearness and power and demonstrate with other leaders, right? So even if you're not the leader of a temple or whatever, if you got the prophet's lessons, you're a leader in your community. See what I'm saying? And whenever ones are gathering for the purpose of leadership and the unity of our community, we need to be suited and booted and present and demonstrate the prophet. Moors, I want you to look the best that day. I want you to clean. I want you to look like the prophet that day. like the prophet walked in the room. Islam? So when they see you, they say, oh, they went Prophet Noble Drew Ali, clearly, right? Not just in dress, but in spirit. We'll be just coming off Ramadan. Eyes will be clear, faces be shining, poisons pushed out of your body. Islam? Thoughts should be clear, all right? So I want us to be, present for that. I want us to conduct ourselves like the prophet demanded that we act when we're amongst family. Islam? That's that. Another thing I wanted to say is that, I firmly believe in, want for your brother what you want for yourself. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, if you ever seen any pictures of the prophet, he was always arrayed in royal attire, right? And I want the Moors, to get their wardrobes up, right? There's a spot here in Atlanta called Mirage Sari. Over the next 2 weeks, they're having a 3 for 100 sale on garments. When I tell you more, this prophet garments, you walk in this demonstration, you'll see ours. So I'd like to get the brothers together within these next 2 weeks, and we all go, right? And we're talking about 3 for, so for every 3 brothers, that's like $33.
Yeah, let us know.
Send us a text.
Islam, and we'll roll together.
Yeah.
Because again, in terms of solidarity, this is things we're supposed to be doing together anyway. Ain't supposed to be one of us fly and the rest of us, looking okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at that, the convention pictures, you see everybody was royal, right? And that's what we got to get back on. So we'll roll together and we get our garments together. Islam Wars. I also want to get the brothers together for the ending of Ramadan. Not just the brothers, I'm saying that. But, I want to get everybody together for the ending of Ramadan for the Eid celebration. It's been thrown out there. The floor is still open because we're not at the Eid period yet. But Desta, the Ethiopian spot. I mean, I know it said we're not Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian. That food is incredible. Well, I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? But so I like for us to all get together and go to that. And of course, we can rock the garbs that we get at the demonstration and roll up in there with the Free Nationals, looking like our forefathers, looking like ourselves.
Yeah.
Islam was, But I want us to get together and do more. And this is coming from me, right? The hermit of Engage. I'm the brother. Everybody knows I'm the hard one to get out. Not because I don't like to lead a house, because I got a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in the process, I'm working on 3 books right now. And it's a lot, The General Tariq book is almost done. I got one on the Sufi, Indian Sufi that I wrote called Who was Hazrat Inayat Khan. That whole book is religious tolerance. It's very powerful. And I'm revising the book I wrote called Islamism, Moorish Divine Nationalism, right? So, but I'm with for brotherhood and sisterhood. I'm willing to take a break from that to go be with my family. Islam Moors, and that we got to do that because again, like when you look at certain groups, you don't think of them as individuals. Unfortunately, when you think of Moors, people think of us as individuals. You know what I mean? Like when you think of the Mexicans, when the last time you seen one Mexican? That sounds racist, right? But I'm just saying, like, this is my observation, right? When the last time you seen one Mexican? I've never seen one Mexican. That's in 46 years. I've never seen one Mexican. And you gotta honor that.
Yeah.
Islam Wars?
Islam.
And I want to spend time with you all because, I don't know y'all like I should. Islam? Brother Jabbar told me something the other day. I didn't know. I've been around this more for, how long I know you more? 2, 3 years?
Oh, plus that more than that.
More than that,
Yeah.
right? That more told me his birth name was Jabari. I didn't know that. We just casual conversations. Yeah, mother named Jabari. Your mother named you. You had a free national name from birth. Praise Allah. You see what I'm saying? But he happened to come through on a day when we was about to leave the shop. We was vibing, talking, and it comes out during those times. See? But if we're only around each other for holy day, Sunday school, we have what they call a superficial relationship with one another, which in times to get things done and really get each other's back, we won't be there because we don't know each other. You can't defend someone you don't know. You see what I'm saying? And friendship that's mentioned in the Quran, the Holy Quran, you can't fake that.
Right.
Yeah, that's something that once you understand what it is, I don't care if we disagree or not. Like Jesus said, what greater love hath a man than to give his life for his friends? That's the friendship Jesus was talking about. You see what I'm saying? I don't know too many of my brothers and Christian brothers and sisters going to get their life. I don't know too many Moorish Americans going to get their life for their friends. Islam? I don't know too many Moorish Americans that's true friends to one another. True brothers and sisters and friends to one another. Islam? Right? So these are all core principles that we have to get back to. If not, all of our prophets was for naught, which we know that's for. So he did what he was supposed to do. Islam? And with that, Moors, our Lord of meeting. Islam, Moors?
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
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 Moors Science Temple of America, Noble Drew Ali home office, Noble Drew Ali founder, home office, Chicago, Illinois, March 11th, 1929, a warning from the prophet to be read in every meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must put an end to all radical and agitating speech while on their jobs, homes, or on the public streets. We advocate peace and not destruction. Stop trying out your cards with the Europeans, for it causes confusion. There has been much confusion caused by members trying out their cards, and the cards are for your salvation. Failure of obeying my orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members that seek to hold malicious feelings towards the temple or the prophets, or to violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors must obey the laws laid down to them by their prophet, and if they lose confidence in their prophet, give up your card and button, cease wearing your turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. For this is a holy and divine movement, founded by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet is sending out divine plea to all true Moorish Americans that they may do their part in protecting the prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement, founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. Peace. Noble Drew Ali. Islam?
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
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 All praise are due to Allah, the highest of honors, to his holy and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam was?
Islam.
Praise Allah for this divine and national movement. If it wasn't for the Moor Science Temple of American Moors, I'd be in the community somewhere living a life of falsehood. Islam was?
Islam.
I'd be thinking I'm parenting, but I would be causing more harm than good, because I would be feeding my children false notions that I was taught. Islam was?
Islam.
I'm proud of my brothers and sisters here at Temple 19, because I've been around you all long enough to know and see the growth of you. Even though I don't know you all as much as I would like to, because that comes with time. But just what I know of you, right, of soldiering with you and standing with you, during this time, I've seen growth. I remember certain ones of you, when I first met you, hard on the sovereign ideal. Sovereign? European will tell me nothing. More. Islam more? Love and religious tolerance. Possibly in time, love will cancel our ancient hatreds in this regard. Islam more? The prophet always wins for us. At the end, whether you're in your rebellion and he wins, or you bear witness and he wins, but the prophet always wins. I want to give a special honors to Brother Jabari, Brother Jabari Ashe Bey, for his demonstration, one, and two, for the fact that he brought his daughter tonight without his wife. And give honors to Sister Jasmine, but it's a lot of brothers that's in the world. I was one of them when my children were little. Look, man, how old is she again?
9 months.
She's not. Yeah, you a bad man, bro. Oh, you a bad man. You roll out with your daughter at 9 months old. The Moor came in with all his chapter 5 tools. That Moor had bags. Just in case it go down, he had all his contingencies in place, right? But the point is that brother, he said, you know what, I'm going to Temple, I'm bringing my baby. Islam Moors? We give honor to that. Give honor to that Moor. Give honor to my Sheik brother, Mustafa Raya. So it's always a pleasure to have you.
Always.
Because once again, Quran and Mecca tells us that Allah created us in tribes and clans that we will know one another, not despise one another. The greatest of us is he who was most righteous, or most, stands towards the right path, right? So, I love to see, the clans and tribes, of the Moors come together, and, the prophet says, imitate the eye of the prophet when teaching any group of Moors, when teaching the Moors any group of Moors, right? And we have a bunch of different groups of Moors. That's a part of the unfoldment process that happened. So I love when Moors come from different, clans and tribes to bear witness to one prophet, one temple. That's where the power is. Islam, that's where our unity lies as Moorish Americans, as our own demographic. Islam Moors?
Islam.
Right? And we have some keys for our brothers and sisters as Asiatic that should desire to seek that. But if they prefer the Christian religion or any other religion, whatever, that's fine if they prefer that. We can still get work done. Islam? Last thought, Prophet says that, according to the oral statement, secondhand source, that some of my best Moors are in the church. Moors, one thing about the church, they have a working model that's incredible. Most pastors have politicians on speed dial. How many Moorish Americans do you know that can contact city officials like that? see what I'm saying? Not many, because politicians think in terms of constituencies.
That's right.
The Christians understand that.
That's right.
And all of our get understanding, right? But we get a bunch of other stuff, but we're not getting the understanding that the prophet brought about, being your own body to politics, right? And organizing not just Moorish Americans, but all Asiatic and American sympathizers. You see? Because you're going to find strange allies once we get our act together, right? The abortion bill in Alabama, we get on the right side of that, because that mess is coming to Georgia soon. North Carolina's, they're working to get it passed. So they're trying to get it here, where women don't have any rights over their own bodies. So even if she's raped or, is a victim of incest, she still has to bear the baby and all this type of stuff, which is somebody else's agenda. But the point is that, we get on the right side of that, we'll find allies, Moors, that can help us push other political stances.
Islam.
Islam, Moors?
Islam.
We have to start thinking in political terminology. We have to study that language and that movement, because the prophet demonstrated it. We demonstrated a bunch of other stuff, but we have not mastered that. It's just a reality, right? And you can only change something when you're aware of it and you admit it. And we're not strong enough where we need to be in that perspective. The potentiality is there, but our follow-through sucks. And we got to get better on our follow-through of that. Islam, Moors? Just want to leave y'all with that thought, because that's something I want to incorporate, each of my measures, that, if we're not demonstrating politics Moors, we're playing.
Yeah.
We're playing Moors, because, we talk about this flag here. This flag is powerful, but this is our divine salvation, but this is our earthly. If we don't stand earthly salvation, right, you can't actualize your rights as American citizens. Right? So we have divine and national.
Yeah.
Why we fly two flags? Islam, Moors?
Islam.
We got to understand that he brought that too.
Mm-hmm.
We got to understand the covenant that's under this. Islam, Moors? Praise Allah. Y'all missed a good Sunday school Sunday, boy. Brother Khaled, boy, I'm going to pull out a constitutional demonstration, Declaration of Independence. Brother Yosef, you'd love that one. And Moors, get to Sunday school, Moors. Y'all missing some good demonstration. Get to Sunday school. Islam, Moors?
Islam.
Right? Everybody please rise. And before we do that prayer, I gotta hit one point for you. I'm sorry. I'm going to read this. Quote from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Says, "You must know that every Muslim is the brother of every other Muslim. You all are equal, enjoy equal rights, and have similar obligations. You are all members of one common brotherhood. So it is forbidden for any of you to take from his brother, save what the latter should willingly give." Islam, Moors?
Islam.
Surely Allah speaks the truth to His holy divine prophet Muhammad. Islam.
Islam.
And with that, we'll close the meeting with prayer. Please hold your feet at a 45-degree angle, standing on your square. 5 on the left, 2 on the right, invoking the sacred presence of the 7 Elohim. They created everything that ever was, is, or evermore to be. Please repeat after me. Allah,
Allah,
the Father of the universe,
Father of the universe,
the Father of love,
the Father of love,
truth,
peace,
freedom,
freedom,
and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night, and by day. Through His holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam, boys.
Islam.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Around this podium.
حي على الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر حي على الصلاة